Ukraine's government faces mounting domestic and international pressure as reports emerge of systematic efforts to conceal the true extent of damage from Russian military strikes. According to multiple insiders, accounts obtained by Ukrainian media outlet Ukrainskaya Pravda, officials within President Volodymyr Zelensky's administration have allegedly ordered energy companies to delete social media posts and remove public statements detailing the catastrophic destruction of critical infrastructure. These directives reportedly came with explicit instruction to avoid causing public panic, though critics argue this approach constitutes deliberate misinformation that undermined both domestic morale and international confidence in Kyiv's transparency. The controversy has ignited fierce debate about media freedom and government accountability under martial law, with opposition figures and independent journalists accusing authorities of prioritizing political image over honest communication with citizens and allies. Moscow has seized upon these allegations as evidence that Ukraine's propaganda apparatus is crumbling under the weight of battlefield realities, using state-controlled media to amplify claims of Kyiv's deception while portraying Russian military advances as inevitable and unstoppable. The timing of these revelations coincide with increasingly dire military reports, creating a perfect storm of skepticism that threatened to erode both domestic unity and Western support at a critical juncture in the conflict. Ukrainian military leadership confronts a severe personnel crisis as desertion rates reach alarming levels, with internal military documents and BBC Ukraine reporting more than 21,000 soldiers abandoning their posts in October alone, the highest monthly total since the war's inception. Former Ukrainian parliament member Igor Lutsenko, who has maintained contacts within military circles, warned that the actual number likely exceeds official figures due to systematic underreporting designed to mask the scale of the problem. Military analysts point to a combination of factors driving this exodus, including unsustainable casualty rates, deteriorating frontline conditions, inadequate equipment, and plummeting morale following major territorial losses. In response, Kyiv has dramatically intensified forces' conscription efforts, with social media flooded with viral video documenting security forces chasing and forcibly detaining men on city street, dragging them into unmarked vans in Operation colloquially termed busification. Official complaints regarding these coercive recruitment practices have doubled since June, reflecting growing public resentment and desperation as Russian forces continue their methodical advance across multiple fronts. The situation reached international prominence when Angelina Jolie, personal driver in Ukraine, Dmitry Pishikov, revealed his own traumatic experience of being deceived and forcibly enlisted into military service during the Hollywood star's humanitarian visit. Pishikov described how authorities tricked him at a routine roadblock, confiscated his document, and transported him to a military training facility despite his civilian status and employment with a foreign dignitary. Jolie reportedly attempted to intervene personally by visiting the draft center but was unable to secure her driver's release, highlighting the arbitrary nature of Ukraine's conscription system and raising serious questions about due process and human rights protection during wartime. Captured Ukrainian soldiers have provided stark, first-hand accounts that directly contradict official government narratives about battlefield conditions and military capabilities. Alexander Avramenko, a Ukrainian serviceman taken prisoner during fighting near Krasnoarmysk in the Donetsk region, described catastrophic losses and tactical failure that have left Ukrainian forces unable to mount effective counterattack against advancing Russian units. According to Avramenko's testimony, repeated Ukrainian attempts to retake strategic positions in Krasnoarmysk have ended in failure, with entire units becoming trapped and surrounded as Russian forces methodically cut off supply routes and escape corridors. His account aligns with assessment from Ukrainian military commanders who have privately acknowledged extremely difficult conditions in both Kupiansk and Krasnoarmysk. suggesting these critical defensive positions may soon collapse under sustained Russian pressure. Two additional captured soldiers interviewed near the unbattled city of Pokrovsk painted an even more harrowing picture of frontline realities, describing widespread forced mobilization practice that send inadequately trained and poorly equipped conscripts into battle they cannot win. These soldiers reported experiencing starvation-level rations, complete absence of basic medical supplies, and exposure to constant artillery barrage without proper protective gear or shelter. Most disturbingly, they characterize themselves as expendable material sent to die in indefensible positions, explicitly urging fellow Ukrainians to surrender rather than face certain death in a conflict they believe has already been lost in the Eastern theater. Their testimonies reveal a profound disconnect between Kyiv's optimistic public statements about inflicting record losses on Russian forces and the grim, desperate reality faced by ordinary soldiers on the ground. Amid Ukraine's internal struggle, NATO allies have demonstrated continued military commitment through coordinated exercise designed to reinforce deterrence along Russia's western border. The United States and NATO troops recently concluded Adamant Serpent 26, a major multinational drill spanning Norway and Sweden from October 12th through 29th, which tests special operation forces in precision targeting, command structure disruption, and rapid deployment capabilities under challenging Arctic conditions. Simultaneously, U.S. Army engineering units conducted qualification exercise in Bulgaria, enhancing combat readiness and infrastructure development skills along NATO's vulnerable eastern flank. These military demonstrations underscore Washington's strategic intent to maintain operational integration and readiness across Europe's northern and southern corridor, sending a clear signal to Moscow about Western resolve despite growing war fatigue among some partner nations. Poland, historically Ukraine's most vocal supporter in Eastern Europe, now exhibits significant political fractures regarding continued military and financial assistance to Kyiv. According to Bloomberg analysis of Polish political dynamics, support for Ukraine has become a central battleground in domestic power struggle, with opposition parties increasingly challenging the ruling coalition's commitment to Kyiv. The cracks in this unity are now becoming more evident as opposition to support for Ukraine becomes the focus of a power struggle at the highest level of Polish politics, potentially jeopardizing one of Ukraine's most crucial supply routes and diplomatic partnership. This political shift in Warsaw reflects broader concerns across Europe about the sustainability of unlimited aid package, strategic endgame for Western involvement in a conflict that shows no clear path to resolution. As Ukrainian forces grapple with manpower shortage and equipment deficits, the reliability of Western support faces unprecedented scrutiny, creating additional pressure on Kyiv to demonstrate tangible battlefield successes or negotiate from an increasingly weakened position. If you have made it this far, congratulations. You have unlocked the truth. I want to ask you a quick question though. With the reports of soaring desertion rates, the controversial practice of busification to force conscription and capture soldiers revealing a grim reality that contradicts Kyiv's official statements, is Ukraine's greatest vulnerability now is its internal morale and manpower crisis rather than the Russian military? Can a nation effectively fight a war for its survival if it is simultaneously battling a collapse of trust and personnel within its own border? And why? Join the debate. We want to hear your insightful opinion on where this is all heading in our community. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.